Hello everyone, thank you for joining today. Hope you're staying safe out there, only going out when you need to. My name's Katie and I was planning to head out today to buy some groceries, maybe get a snack. However, huge thunderstorm has just started, so I'm going to keep working, use that as motivation to keep me going and see if it clears up later. So today we're going to be talking about writing task 2. We're going to look specifically at the introduction. So we'll just wait there. Here we are. This task, the other name we have for it is the independent. It's the task where we need to say what we believe, what our opinion is, and we need to support that with some reasons and with some stories. Of course, the introduction is going to set that all up. So we definitely need to make it really well structured, and we want it to be clear that we have a definite opinion and we have something to support it, where, as it says, it's an introduction. We're introducing what's coming next. So we want to make sure we make a very good first impression. Okay, just before we get to that, a little bit about me. I studied linguistics and education at university. I've been working now for 8 years, and with TOEFL, with the TST prep, I teach all the different sections. I teach your group classes and the private classes. I changed my hobbies here to match what I'm doing at the moment. I am watching YouTube a lot, so hopefully I've got some tips from those other YouTubers that will help me do better in today's video. I love watching them while I'm cooking, while I'm doing exercise, while I'm doing my hair and makeup. I think I just love multitasking. I don't like to do just one thing at one time. So if you're like that, then you should do it as well. And yes, as I said, I'm cooking. I am trying so many new recipes. Share with me some of yours if you have a good idea, because I have plenty more time, more inspiration now. And of course, to keep up with my family, I'm doing a lot of video calls right now with Zoom, with Skype, with Facebook, with House Party. It's incredible how many new things are popping up in these times. Today's lesson, we want you to gain a deeper understanding how grammar and vocabulary, like we talked about in the last video, we need to see how this affects and impacts your scores. We want to do this through analyzing and learning from other students' examples. All of you are in the same boat, and probably these other students are doing things that you also do, so you can learn from their mistakes. Thanks to everyone who sent in their samples. We're also going to compare your writing style with the examples and templates that we've got in these slides today. Okay, on to my slide about me. If you want some more information, if you want me to look just at your writing or your speaking, or like I said before, I teach the other sections too, reading, listening. If you have a question, then you can have a half an hour lesson with me. We can go through all of it. Next, we have the lesson goals again, just in case you forgot, you can pause it here. Now, in the TOEFL, they have rubrics. The rubrics are what the examiners have to follow to be able to give you a high score. So looking at this, you should be able to see what is necessary, what you need to do in your essay. They say here, effectively address the topic and task, be well organized, develop your response. Use clear, appropriate explanations, exemplifications, and/or details. Display unity, progression, coherence, consistent facility, the use of language, syntactic variety, appropriate word choice. Oof, they are using such big words here. I am sure a lot of you out there are not able to follow exactly, or you're checking the dictionary. So better that you stick with something like this. This grading criteria is something you're going to be able to follow, remember, and stick to. Better than what they write, that is a bit too complex here. So we have 7 things we're looking at today. Talking about the introduction, we're going to specifically focus on a few of these. For example, organizing your thoughts. That is what the introduction does. It's saying, these are my thoughts, this is my opinion, this is where I'm going with my essay. Okay, it's an important, very important part of the structure. It is the first part, it is the first impression. Appropriate words and phrases will come up, address the topic will come up, and again, clarity, which is where the grammar usually ties in. So here is an example, independent question. This is what it's going to look like for those of you who haven't done the test yet. One thing I will point out is that the questions are getting longer and longer. Over the past year, we've seen so many long questions in the test, like this one. It's there to intimidate you. So don't let it. Just read through, try to find the basic point behind it. Try to not be overwhelmed by it being so long, and don't let it take up too much time that you want to keep for organizing your ideas, thinking of your ideas, and thinking of your stories to back them up. So here we see health and wellness is a growing concern for a number of people across the globe. Some people believe a well-balanced diet and exercise routine is the best way to stay healthy. Others suggest that good health has less to do with what you eat and more to do with how you live. In other words, maintaining positive relationships with friends and family is a better way to remain healthy. It's a mouthful. So basically, breaking that down, you need to decide which is better to stay healthy, diet and exercise or positive relationships. That is, breaking it down, that is what you need to answer. The rest of it here is just filler. Like I said, they're trying to intimidate you with all of that, so don't let them. Just read through, work out what the main ideas are. Here is a sample from a student. They say here, I agree with the first opinion that mentioned that a well-balanced diet and exercise routine is the best way to stay healthy. However, the second opinion is not totally incorrect, and that is for many reasons. What do you think, everyone? Do you think this will be a good introduction for an independent? Pause if you need a bit more time to think, and when you're ready, you've got your ideas written down, come back again, and we'll see if you've caught the same things that I have. Okay, to help you understand what I have caught, I'm going to go through an independent template with you. This is what we recommend for all students, is that we have a first sentence that's what I like to call an opening sentence. It's setting up the context, it's getting everyone familiar with what the topic is and what is being asked. Next, we're going to have your opinion. After that, we're going to link to the rest of the essay. Some people want to say what their reasons are here, and that is okay if you want to do that. The only reason we don't recommend it is that you're going to end up using those same words for those reasons several times. So if you use those words here, you then will have to think of a different way to say it in your paragraph and in your conclusion. What I usually say to students is, it depends on the topic. If you have enough ways to write something 3 different ways, then you can put it in your introduction. But if you don't, leave it for later and just say for 2 main reasons, and that's all you need. Okay, so now we've seen this recommended template. Let's see the example again. Oh, no, I think I've missed it. Okay, we're going to go back here. So do we have an opening sentence that talks about the topic? Not really. We see here straight to I agree. And when it says here with the first opinion mentioned, it is assuming that the person reading this has also read the question. That is not great. We want to have a full essay of our own that is not reliant upon reading the question. We want it to make sense on its own. So that's why we would need a first sentence here that sets up the context. Something like, many people wonder which is the best way to maintain a healthy lifestyle. Or maybe instead of lifestyle there, you could just say to maintain health. And then you would have your opinion, which is here, I agree that a well-balanced diet and exercise routine is the most important for staying healthy. This second sentence here, that is meaning that you're not actually answering the question. The question before, as we saw here, it said, which opinion do you agree with? That means you can only pick one. You are just going to talk about the one you agree with. You're not going to say anything really about the other one. You don't need to say whether it's incorrect or whether it's not totally incorrect. That one is not part of this essay because you have chosen the other one. So this sentence here we would take out and we would have our linking sentence that I just spoke about here would be there. Okay, so everyone out there, please follow the template: opening sentence, opinion, linking sentence. That will help you with grading criteria. It's organized, it's easy to see what your thoughts are. It's a proper structure that follows what they want. It's addressing the topic, and it's very clear. Now we have a new student example. Let's try and see what they're doing here. The different question is about what is the best building to put in, the best facility for the community, park, library, or pool. If we have a look here, this is their sample. I almost told you that, but I'm going to remind you, pause now, have a look. What do you think this student needs to change to get us to the right structure? Okay, so hopefully you have noticed, like I have, that this has gone the other way from the past example. The past example, there wasn't anything that set up the context. Here we have a very long introduction, and the first two sentences there do seem to be opening sentences. However, they're not actually on topic. Okay, talks about technology, which is not really part of it, and it talks about a busy life. So this is something that's taking away from what we're actually trying to talk about in this essay. In this essay, we need to decide park, pool, or library. We don't need to talk about technology or busy lives. We just need to set up that there is a decision to make about which one of these buildings is going to be the best for this community. So what we need is to just cut this sentence here works as an opening sentence. Obviously, we take out the and, could say, just local governments have many different ways to improve the features of the community. That's enough for an opening sentence there. We go into our opinion here. Personally, I strongly believe a park is a great way to improve. Wouldn't start a sentence with because. You could say, this way, more people will benefit, and it will enhance a relaxing environment. Okay, so I feel like this student maybe is going to mention busy lifestyles later. So that could be why it's appeared here. Like I said before, we don't want to talk about our reasons just yet. We're going to bring them up in the paragraphs. If we are going to mention them, it's going to be in that later sentence, the last sentence, which is linking. So if you did want to mention it, then it would be here. I feel this way, or the effects of busy lifestyles, and whatever would be the other opinion there, the other reason. Best way though, as we recommend, is just to say for two main reasons, which I will explain in the following essay. Now back to the grading criteria. We can see that that sample from the student, it was not the best organized, and we went a little off topic there. Okay, so that's what we want to improve for that one. The clarity is going to be lost there by going off topic. I am left thinking, reading that maybe the question was about technology and being busy, and it's not. So that's why we need to be really clear with what we say in our introduction. Imagine that the person who's going to read your essay does not know what question you are answering. You're explaining enough so they can follow without checking that question. Here we are with a new student example. This one you might think it's a bit harder to find the mistakes because they have followed our template. So we're going to be looking for something different in this one. Take a look, pause, think about it, write it down, press play again when you feel you're ready to see if we agree. So here we can see that this one does have an excellent structure. It follows the template, it's got the opening sentence, it has the opinion, and then a link into the next part. It's a little different from what we had before, but it still serves the same purpose. What is the issue is the grammar. Okay, and here, this word, it's not that, very close, it should be than. better than. Whenever you are comparing two things, it's going to be the comparative, better, higher, faster, quicker, more important, and than, THAN. Be careful, there are a lot of students who write that or who write then. And you might think, well, people know what I mean. It doesn't matter. Unfortunately, it does. That will be noticed by the computer, by the person reading as well. And if it's in your first sentence, then it's not a great first impression. Teachers, examiners like me, we try not to, but we do get a first impression of the student from these sentences here. We read it and we immediately think, okay, there's already a mistake. Uh-oh, there's going to be more coming. What would be better is if we didn't see anything until much later on. And by that time, we've already got a great impression of you that we don't notice so many of those mistakes later on. Okay, so extra careful in the introduction. When you're editing, that should be what you're spending a lot of your time on, is checking all of the grammar in your introduction. It is my firm belief, oh, this is another one here, should be an F instead of VE, that we created a better way of living. Okay, this one is highlighted because we are still living this better way. So it would make more sense to use present perfect here, that we have created a better way of living. We created, it's done, it's gone, but actually we're still working on that creation. We're still improving. So I think present perfect implies that we started that and we're still working on it. It's continuing until now and it might keep going. So we have created a better way of living, but the next generations will suffer. This one, it's talking about all generations. So like I said in my last class, when we are talking about everything in general, not just one generation, but all of the following ones, then we don't use the. The would be for something specific. So we'll take that. But next also doesn't feel like it's the best word here. I would prefer using following or future generations as it says there, but better to use something different to avoid copying that question there. Will suffer the consequences. With that is also a bit off here. So will suffer the consequences. So we're referring back to this better way of living. So I would say we'll suffer the consequences of this for a number of reasons. And I will explain these ideas in the subsequent paragraphs. Okay, so it is something you might think, well, the teacher should be able to know, the examiner should be able to know what I mean. We do. We can read this and we know what's happening. But the way to get a better score is that the examiner does not need to make that effort to think, wait, does this mean this? Does this mean that? And we want the examiner to see that you have made an effort to make things sound like you are a native speaker, that you have practiced and practiced, you have learned about what doesn't sound natural, what sounds a bit awkward, and you have improved. And that is what they want to see. That's going to help. Probably next slide is, yes, grading criteria. They want you to have the complete clarity there, that they're not worried thinking, do they mean this? Do they mean that? And they want it appropriate. Okay, so is with appropriate words and phrases, we can see that these are not the appropriate prepositions there. This is not the appropriate word that fits that grammar point. So that will be something that will be noticed and added up, which will hurt your score. Like I said, especially in that introduction, you want to have it as perfect as you can. They don't expect your whole essay to be perfect, but first impressions, like I've been saying, are so important. Okay, so now we've gone through all of those things. I hope that you were able to pick out some things. You might have picked out things that I didn't mention, so please mention them below, comment down below. So I hope that you have been able to see how grammar and vocab can impact your writing score. We just saw a few key grammar things there. You have been analyzing these writing samples and learning from them. Make sure that you don't make any of those same mistakes in your essay. I usually get my students to write a list of their key problems. So if there's anything you saw today that you have also written before that you think, oh, but I thought that was fine, and now you know it's not, add that to your list. And it would be really good for you to have that list up on your wall, or maybe just in a notepad next to you as you're writing. Do your test, do your writing under test conditions, but when you're done, have a look back, check those notes, then check your writing and edit according to that. You really want to be aware of your weaknesses, of your bad habits, and correcting them yourself. And the more that you do this, then your brain becomes very active and aware of them. Eventually, it's going to block you from doing that in your exam, in your writing. You're going to be writing, you'll be about to type it, and then your brain will start sounding the alarm. No, wait, you've corrected this on your own writing 3 times already. Don't do it again. And you'll remember, okay, no, I can't write it that way. It's not that, it's that. Okay, it's not with, it's of, that type of thing. So keep a list of key mistakes, ones you've seen today that you also think you might do, and anything else that you've had corrected. Either it's been, your computer has underlined a word and told you about it, maybe spelling, maybe grammar, maybe vocab choice. Keep a list of that and keep improving, keep reviewing, checking that list, because you don't want to just think about it once and then forget about it. We need to keep seeing it, fixing it, thinking about it. That's the only way the bad habit is going to go away. Now we've got the final one here, compare my own writing style. So today we looked at the structure of this introduction. So now you have seen what is recommended. Do you usually write an introduction like that? Maybe you don't. So do your best to try to follow it. Our template is there to save you time, to help you know what is definitely needed. Sometimes those template sentences we have there might not match every single question type. So I just want to go back over that before we finish. So looking at this question here, this is an agree-disagree question. So this first sentence does perfectly match it. Sorry, where's it gone? There it is there. So this first sentence, no one can deny that nowadays life is better than it used to be. No one can deny is going to be a good sentence there you can use when we're looking at agree, disagree. However, looking back at this slide where we have 3 different options, no one can deny that is not going to perfectly fit that question type. So that's one thing I want you to be careful of, is that when we're looking at different question types, agree, disagree, 3 option prompt or preference, that certain sentences do, well, they match each of them in different ways. So it's a great idea to have a template, but be a little bit flexible with the first sentence of your independent essay. Make sure you have a few alternatives that you can use depending on the style of the essay that you get on the day. I meant to mention that when we were talking about it, but it slipped my mind, so now you've seen that. If you have more questions about that, let us know in the comments and we'll give you some ideas to match that. Now, I believe that is all. Yes, so once more, if you want me to look at your writing, we can start working on that list of your problem areas, of the different things that are your bad habits that you want to work on. And if you want to talk about other sections as well, you can book in for that half an hour. I'll try to fit in as much as we can in those 30 minutes. And I'll send you stuff afterwards, so you can do some further reading. That is almost all. Just one final message here. This is from Ines, who was in my group class. When was that? In December. And it was her first time doing the test. She was so nervous. But in the class, she said her responses, she sent in some questions, and by the end of the class, she was doing amazingly. She still wasn't sure that she was because she hadn't done the test yet, but it was really great for her to hear my compliments. The rest of the class as well were telling her, "Yes, you're doing amazing." And she did the test. She did incredibly. First time doing the test, she got 100 and she got 29 in speaking. It was unbelievable. So if you are looking for not just some help with your responses, with your writing, but some encouragement, then these group classes are a great help for that. The students really work well together. It's so positive. Like I've said before, you're all in the same boat. You're all struggling with the same stuff. So having a buddy, having a group that is with you can help your confidence, can help you feel like you're ready to face a test. So thank you for coming. That's all for today. And please have a look at our website for anything else that you might need. We hope that you do very well with your test and that you are staying safe. Contact us with your questions, with your needs.